I know I look like shit, but this news took everything out of me. When my partner told me there was a rumor that Hollywood's human equivalent of intractable diarrhea, Rachel ZEIGLER, could be playing Christine in the dreaded Disney Plus Phantom film, I pretended those words had never been spoken to me. Yes, I could have been a responsible member of the community and dug into the possibility to report it all to you, but I was so disgusted by the very thought of it that I made like an ostrich and buried my head in the sand. I did the full elementary school, la la la, I can't hear you. Well, I can't do that anymore. I am forced to come to terms with reality. It is, or if there is a God, was true. However, it seems that Disney might be finally coming to their senses and dismissing her from the project in the wake of the controversy that she has caused around the Snow White live action. This would be the most sensible decision that Disney has made in probably the last 10 to 15 years. But the fact that they ever considered hiring her at all, when they have received constant backlash with threats of boycotts for 3 years, proves my conspiracy theory that the Disney company is legitimately attempting corporate sewer slide. For several years now, my partner and I have scratched our little noodles trying to figure out why Disney continues to release projects that their fan base has specifically told them they do not want, while ignoring the project ideas that they've been begging for, the ones that are certain to make them money. Disney has such a unique advantage in the industry because they have a fan base that is very vocal about what they want to see and are willing to pay for. Ways to honor Walt's wishes and his will while also making bank. And they just stick their fingers in their ears and say, no, we'll release what we want and you will like it. Then get mad at us when we don't. We are handing them the magic key saying, this will make you money. No risk. Practically placing the cash in their hands. And then they go and specifically make decisions that the fans have been screaming that we hate. They choose guaranteed failure over guaranteed success pretty much every day, and it baffles me. Rachel ZEIGLER has been a stain on the Disney company since Snow White was announced, leading people to boycott projects that Disney has spent obscene amounts of money on. She has trash-talked the film, been a PR team's worst nightmare, and has an ego and difficulty to work with that puts Carlotta to shame. They should be hiring their best lawyers to be able to tear up every contract that they have with her, and then formally apologize to the public for ever bringing her to our attention. Not hiring her for more. Are they crazy? I really cannot come to any other conclusion than that there is some producer or other kind of exec that has a lot of power and say in what gets greenlit and casting that is secretly trying to sabotage the company. I think they've got a mole, and the other execs just have their heads too far up their asses to realize it. If I go missing, you know it's true. Because if this is some kind of kamikaze strategy, whoever is behind it is not being subtle. Okay, a Neanderthal who has never even heard of motion pictures could see that there has been no logic behind any decision Disney has made in at least the last 10 years. Dave Filoni's heavy hand in the Star Wars shows has been the only thing to save a Disney production in years. But it may seem that Disney has finally woken up and smelled the rotting fish that is Rachel ZEIGLER, according to what I have found online in regard to Phantom. There's not much, but it's possible. You all already know how upset I was to even learn of this film's existence, and adding Rachel ZEIGLER to it has made me lose 100% hope for not even just making it a passable film, but also just for the Disney company as a whole. Hate to break it to you, Disney adults, but Disney is dead. I knew this film was going to be bad but in my wildest dreams, I could not have fathomed it being infected by this walking disease of an actress who is known to trash talk her own projects. If she thought Snow White was sexist, there is no telling how much she's going to try to girl boss up Christine, when half the point of her character is that she is young and naive and doesn't know how to handle the situation that she's in. I never had any hope for the Disney Phantom, but somehow even less now that this little shit stain may be at the helm. I don't know who Rachel knows in the industry or who she's boinking to keep securing these major roles, but no one is going to tell me that she is getting selected based on talent and ease to work with. And it doesn't even end at Phantom. Andrew Lloyd Webber himself announced that Rachel will be starring as Eva Perón in a summer production of Evita. Andrew, darling, light of my life, baby, what is you doing? Is she threatening you? Is spelling her name wrong in that announcement a cry for help? She's gonna have your head for that, just so you know. This psycho has officially infected the world of musical theater, and that is where I draw the line. I somehow no longer feel any doubt about my skills as an actress and singer. The fact that you can shit-talk the productions that you're in, become the biggest PR nightmare in history, and still secure enormous projects tells me that anytime I got passed over for a role, my talent for it might have had absolutely nothing to do with it. I originally had a huge rant planned for this video that I'm going to go ahead and skip, and I don't know if this would normally bother me this much, but seeing this happen to something that means as much to me as Phantom is kind of my breaking point. I have seen plenty of productions go down the shitter that made me laugh and say, I wonder who they paid for that role. I have been in a production where the director later actually admitted it after the actress embarrassed the whole troupe that she basically paid for the role. I auditioned for a company that always cast the same girl as the female lead in every production because she was related to the owner. It's naive to think that the industry works any other way, but I'm one of those people that just kind of always would like to believe that the arts has more integrity than that. This in particular just really boils my piss, and I hope Disney goes through with the decision to fire her like they should have done with Snow White. But I doubt it, because Disney is hellbent on destroying itself for some fucking reason. If this does go through with Rachel ZEIGLER, I will not be watching nor reviewing it, so I'm sorry to disappoint. I would have hate-watched it, just for the sake of content, had Rachel not been in it, but Disney's not even getting that out of me if they keep her. And a lot of people would say, oh, just pirate it, but I don't feel like getting sued by Disney. They won a case where they killed someone. I'll go over the trailers, but again, if she's in it, that'll be it. This is where I draw the line. I love you guys. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but at least you're prepared now. And sadly, I have more unfortunate Phantom-y news that I will be dropping next week. So, I'm sorry. But honestly, that news pales in comparison to the idea of Rachel ZEIGLER starring in a Phantom film. Especially one that's supposed to have a Descendants vibe. And once you hear what that news is when I bring it to you next week, you'll realize how sad that is. Again, I love you guys. Please like, subscribe, follow me on my socials, and consider donating to my Patreon if you would like to support the channel. Stay fantastic with a PH, and keep your hand at the level of your eyes.